Alright guys, in this video we're going to talk about our first field trip. We're heading to the park. I usually like to go to Wash Park because it's busy no matter what time I go, but you can go to any park you want. If we do meet at Wash Park, we'll meet at this address. The address and a map is also included in your notes. Here's a list of the equipment we're going to need for our field trip. First, you're going to need your remote and e-collar. We'll also bring your leash and the collar we used at our walking lesson. We'll also bring some poop bags and some water if it's hot or if your dog needs some. In this lesson, we're going to have to deal with real life distractions that I can't control. I'm talking about other dogs, calm dogs, and some crazy ones. A bunch of people and kids, and the kids act like little drunk people. You got geese, or I like to call little velociraptors with wings. You got squirrels that are bigger and braver than most lions on the Serengeti. You got tons of goose poop. Goose poop is everywhere. And everything with a wheel. We're talking rollerblades, skateboards, 1920s big wheeled bikes. There's gonna be tons of stuff. First, a safety note. There are tons of bikes at Wash Park and they are crazy. They're gonna run you over and then cuss you out for slowing them down. Watch out for the bikes. There's a bike lane and a walking lane. Just be aware of your surroundings while you're at Wash Park. Goose poop is everywhere at Wash Park. I'm sure it's by your house, and if not goose poop, I'm sure there's some bunny poop or just some gross stuff your dog keeps picking up on your walks. It's too hard to fix in the grass. I'm sure you've tried, and it's too hard to tell if your dog's sniffing or slurping. So at Wash Park, we'll wait till we find a big old fresh piece just sitting on the concrete. We're gonna walk up to it, and if your dog does go for it, we'll wait till their little tongue touches it and we'll have lightning hit him in the tongue with the remote and collar. You can also use the leash to stop him if needed. From there, we're gonna walk right up to another piece of poop. And I wanna see that your dog's gonna avoid it like the corona. From there, then you can start heading to the grass. Your dog will start to understand the poop is what we're talking about, and we're not giving them false corrections for sniffing in the grass. At our last lesson, there is tons of management. I was really specific on what your dog looked at. Heck, I was even specific on which direction they faced. At this lesson, I want to start to give them a little bit more freedom. We're going to keep them in that walk command. We're going to let them look and sniff a little bit, but we'll tighten everything back up if we need to. And worst case scenario, we can go back to that heel command if needed. Also at this lesson, I'm redefining the definition of heel and walk. Normally, it's their body length as the definition. If you see your dog's butt, they're too far ahead. If you can't see their nose, they're too far behind. In public, you can redefine the definition. Today, we'll make it their elbow. If you see your dog's elbow, they're too far ahead. This also works great at our next lesson at Bass Pro Shops when we're inside. When passing by other dogs, we'll keep them in that walk position. They can look and sniff a little bit, but if they get too carried away, we'll tell them walk and adjust pressure if needed. If your dog's having a hard time, we can even tighten things back up and put your dog in that heel command if necessary. Another trick I'm doing at this lesson, I'm hitting the button without the words. Now, in a perfect world, I want the word to come with the button, so eventually we can phase out the button. But in public, it's hard because you sound like a crazy person or you have Tourette's because you're constantly repeating the commands. And that's what I've wanted up until this point. I want your dog to understand which words are important. But in public, you can hit the button without the words. It's a nice little trick if you're with your friends or you're in public and you don't want to look like a crazy person anymore. We'll also be transitioning between the let's go command and the walk command. I want to start to give your dog tons of freedom. We'll give him the full length of the leash, but we'll play a game called cliffhanger. If the leash gets tight, that means your dog ran away and we have to get a new dog on the way home. So this is really going to force you to control your dog with the collar and not the leash. It's really going to prepare you for that off-leash reliability. Speaking of which, I'm going to bring a 15-foot leash for this lesson too. We're going to be able to give your dog 15 feet of slack. From there, we can even drop the leash. It really starts to have your dog feel like they're off leash, but you're still attached to them or close just in case. Don't be afraid to use a leash to help your dog transition between that loose walk and the walk command.